About the extremists that are running the Pentagon. Joining me now is Arkansas Senator Tom Cotton of the Armed Services Committee. Senator, the Pentagon very clear on whom they're trying to purge. So why should Republicans rubber stamp funding for a military that is being turned into this wokeified factory branding conservatives as extremists?
Laura, we're not going to, and in the weeks ahead, as we start to write the annual defense bill, I'm going to be taking up this matter. I've already introduced legislation that would forbid the military from teaching critical race theory at our service academies or professional military schools. And there's nothing that could be more divisive, more destructive of morale and a common fighting ethos among our troops than critical race theory, than saying some races are inherently privileged or some races are inherently oppressed or victimized. That's the exact opposite of what we should be teaching our young troopers, what we want to teach them is to love their country, to defend their country, and look at the man or the woman on the right or left as a fellow
But Senator, I'm sorry to interrupt, but you won't get
representative of their race.
Right, but you won't get that passed. That's a great piece of legislation, but with Biden as president and Nancy in charge in the House, that's not going anywhere. But you can prevent the funding of this with the Republican votes because plenty of Democrats don't want to give any increase in spending to the military. So if you guys hold up the funding, they're suddenly going to listen. Will you do that?
Yeah, that may be a step we have to take, Laura, but I wouldn't say that we can't get that passed either. Remember, the defense bill passes every year. It has passed every year for 60 years. We have an open amendment process in the committee and on the floor. I think there may be one or two Democrats who don't think that we should be teaching our troops that the most important thing about them is the color of their skin, rather than their ability to help save the lives of the man and woman to their right and to their left. We get all kinds of calls and letters and emails coming to my office. I would encourage all troopers tonight, if they're being indoctrinated with this kind of nonsense, to contact us, cotton.senate.gov. We welcome whistleblowers. You can send us your experiences. You can send us the documents that are being seen. We want to stand up for you. We want to make sure that you're spending your time training to fight and to win our country's wars and to take care of your battle buddies to your left and right.
The Secretary of Defense, he's calling the troops the enemies. I've never thought I would be in a country where the Secretary of Defense would call our troops, some of them, the enemies. I hope everybody listened to that clip if you had missed it when we played it before. But I got to ask you, similarly, this new report from The Intercept is revealing, Senator, that the Pentagon is launching a pilot program to monitor the social media accounts of our military personnel for extremism. So John Kirby denied it, but then he added this.
There's no effort inside this extremist working group to somehow spy on every individual in the military or spend hours and hours just gleaning through social media activity just for the sake of doing it. What we are interested in doing is seeing how the services are doing it as they recruit, see if there's things that can be learned, things that can be improved.
Do you buy that? They're not trying to target traditionalists or conservatives?
Yeah, well, we're going to get to the bottom of that because it was a very disturbing report. John Kirby has denied it. Look, the military is always screened for extremists. I remember when I enlisted years ago, you had to write down what tattoos you had and describe them, provide pictures of them, make sure there weren't any people with gang tattoos being enlisted in the military. But if the military was proposing to actively monitor social media accounts of our troopers on an ongoing basis to look for partisan or political statements, that would be an extreme overreach, which wouldn't be surprised because this so-called extremist working group is filled with extremists itself. So we're going to be getting answers to these questions soon.
Who knows better about the finding an extremist, Senator, than the extremists? I guess that takes one to know one. Senator, good to see you tonight. Thank you. And